All righty, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. This is our Wednesday Connect program. For those of you who are new to this series, my name is Nancy Walters. I'm the Executive Director of the La Jolla Community Center. And if you have not participated in one of our programs in person or Zoom, please visit our website. We have a lot of great programming listed there. It's www.ljcommunitycenter.org. Deborah will put that on the chat so that you can make sure to click on that and visit our website. We currently have all virtual programming, so we hope that you can join us Monday through Friday. We have classes like art, meditation, we have yoga, we have special speaker series, and of course our Wednesday Connect series. So we hope to see you back soon. We're very excited to have Jami Shapiro joining us today. I think we all are looking forward to something like this. I'm sure we all have those boxes and albums sitting in a corner somewhere that we all dread to get to, but we want to. So hopefully Jami's gonna help us come up with a plan. Thank you again for joining us today for our Wednesday Connect series. Our goal is to have you connect with somebody or a speaker or some topic, just enjoy, learn something new, and walk away having a plan or idea of something new to do. Jami Shapiro, she is the owner of Silver Linings Transitions. She's a single mother of 3 girls, a community volunteer, and a realtor. Jami sees Silver Linings Transitions and her role as company founder as a professional and compassionate guide through difficult life transitions. Specializing in senior moves, transition and real estate services are available to anyone who wants to make the move easier. And of course, there are other aspects to Silver Linings Transitions, including this photo organizing service. And she also has a guest today, which is Jen Kearney, who will be co-hosting the program with her today. So thank you again for being here, and please help me welcome Jami Shapiro.
Hi, everybody. Nice to see you. Yes, so Silver Linings Transitions, we started as a senior move management company and shortly realized that a lot of people needed help organizing their homes. And I've actually spoken with your community many times before. So one of the things that we were seeing when we were going into people's homes to help them either organize, and they were just going to be organizing a home that they were remaining in, or we were getting them downsized and moved into smaller spaces, but still organizing and going through their things, we were seeing the boxes and boxes of photos. And if you are like most people, I think when they say, what are the top 3 things that you would grab in a house fire, not including pets or loved ones, and photos are almost always at the top of the list. But then we have all of these photos that are disintegrating and in these books, and we're storing them improperly. And you may not know that a photo, especially the older ones, not the new ones, because they're a much better technology, but these older ones are made to have about 125 years of life on them. So if they are not digitally backed up, then you are going to lose them. So I'm really excited because, as I said, as Nancy said, I'm the owner founder of Silver Linings Transitions. And with the pandemic, we decided to add photo organizing services to what we offer, because again, so many of our clients are sitting on boxes of photos. And so we wanted to bring somebody in who loved photos and loved technology. And so I am pleased to be co-hosting with Jen. She's sort of going to carry the most of the conversation today. And I will interject just because I'm a little bit of a control freak, right, Jen?
It's good.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about, we're going to give you tips on how to organize your photos, how to preserve your photos, and just a little bit about digital organization. We can definitely add that and we can do that, but it isn't part of this conversation as much as the rest. So, okay, Jen, you're gonna put your PowerPoint up, and are you ready? Because I don't wanna, if you-
Nope, keep going.
And Jen was interviewing for the job. She had these amazing photo books that she had put together and slideshows, and she lit up when she talked about photos. So there's actually a certification with the photo managers. And so she did all the certification as quickly as she could, learned everything, and just really, really impressed with her. But she really has a love of photos.
I'm Jen Kearney. I have 3 little boys, a husband. We're all doing work here. I am a big lover of, originally it started with scrapbooking, and now I'm making digital photo books with apps online. And when I found Jami, it was meant to be. So here we are today, and I'm so excited to do a presentation for you. So how it's going to work is the first part I'm going to give you tips for you to do it yourself at home. Because I think everybody would like to maybe start on their own and do a little DIY. And then the second half will be, oh, this is a little overwhelming. Maybe I'm going to see if someone can help me do this. So, why do we want organized photos? You want to turn all those boxes and stacks and everything you have into a shareable memory. You want to be able to share those with your grandkids, with your kids, have your kids share them with their grandkids someday. All right, so when you're starting, you want to have a workspace. We obviously have boxes, boxes and boxes and boxes full of photos. So I recommend just clearing off a couple of card tables, your dining room table. This is going to take a week, 2 weeks, a month. Just own it. We're going to do this. And you need to grab some supplies, notebooks, pens, Sharpies, Post-it notes, trash bags. We are going to throw some photos away. I know that sounds crazy, but we are. And some sorting bins. I just get them at the dollar store or at Target when they're on sale. Things I do not want you to have: paper clips, they bend your photos. Rubber bands bend your photos. Tape, not good for you to put on photos. Nothing with glue, adhesive. Ballpoint pens are not good. Anything along those lines. And then what we're going to start doing is we're going to start on our photos. Told you, I have a family here.
Oh, that's okay. I'm going to talk for a minute because Jen said it can take weeks, months. This goes back to perfect is the enemy of done. So you don't have it all in one place. I mean, ideally you set aside a part where you don't have to take it all, up and back, but don't, even just like the way that I tell people to get organized in their homes, just dedicate a half an hour a day so that you aren't overwhelmed. Breaking anything down into bite-sized pieces makes it more manageable. So I did want to throw that in, because if you told me I was going to be spending a week on my photos, I'd freak out and they would go back in the box.
Agreed.
Okay.
However, but if you put them out on the coffee table or your dining room table, maybe 30 minutes every day for a week would be great. Like when you have families or you have other things, jobs going on, sometimes 30 minutes is all I have to work on this. But if it's out there, at least I know it's there and I can do a couple things every once in a while. So the next step you're going to want to do is put like with like in your photos. So maybe we have some actual old photo albums, put those together. Maybe we just have boxes of photos, stick those together. Maybe you have a bunch of old slides. My parents have these round cases full of slides that we still have. Separate them into piles. That helps as a starting step. So when we're starting, you have the old photo albums. Maybe some of you have photo albums like this. My favorite trick to get these photos out of your photo albums, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to get them out. We're going to organize them. Photos staying in a photo album like this will deteriorate them. They already are deteriorating. You need to save them now. So my favorite trick is to get some dental floss and gently slide it right behind the glue of the photo, the wax from the floss and the old glue, and it helps it slide right off. That's my favorite trick. This is one that I would love Jami to talk about. She's so passionate about perfect is the enemy of done. Go ahead, Jami.
Oh, and yes. So when I do any sort of talk about organizing, I always tell people that if your goal is to get it done perfectly, you are going to stop because you're going to become overwhelmed. And so sometimes we're going to give you some pointers for everyone, can organize chronologically. But if you sit in front of a mountain of photos and you look at them and you know that you have to go chronologically, you're going to freeze. So we're going to give you some tips to get them organized so that you can actually gain some momentum, and we'll give you some tips on, good, better, best in terms of the way you organize, and good, better, best in terms of the way that you back up these photos. But as I shared, this is a photo that was taken that Jen did some restoration and some backup For me, I'm going to share the end result later. But, you know, these old photos, especially, they were glued down, they're yellowing. This is a picture of my great grandmother with her sisters. Thankfully, I recognize my great grandmother. But, you know, so we want to preserve the photos, number one, because we don't want them to yellow and go away. But also, while we, you know, can recognize the people in the photos. And so anyway, getting them secured and getting them, stopping the deterioration is really the ultimate goal.
All right. And then you're going to look at your photos using the ABCD method. Okay. This is where our trash bags come into play. Do not be scared of the trash bags. Prioritize your photos. When you're looking through them, you look at a photo and you say, this is my favorite photo I've ever had of my grandkids. I want this blown up. I want this on my wall. That is a photo of an A. A B photo is photos you would keep in your photo albums. These are all very good photos of my retirement party. I'm going to put those in this album, but maybe I'm not going to put them on my wall. C are photos that are clear and you know the people are in them, but maybe you're not even going to put them in an album. You just say, oh, this was a photo at a friend of a friend's party. Here's the photo. D are photos of scenery or people that you don't know. So you want to start categorizing them in those methods. At this time, while you're going through them, you're going to toss out the duplicates. I remember back
in the 80s and the 90s when you
80s and the 90s, you would take them to the photo place and they'd be like free double prints. So you can give one to your friend. So lots of people have double prints. You don't need that.
Also take, you know, we would take 8 pictures of the same thing to get the one that was really good.
Exactly.
And then where I lived, you could get the 4 prints. So we've actually done organizing for people who, you know, they gave you one entire, you know, thing of packet of developed roll, and you might have, you know, 3 pictures in the whole thing that you wanted to do anything with.
Right. And so I think people are afraid to throw those bad ones away. You don't need them. We don't need them. They're taking up space in your brain. They're taking up space in your life.
Yeah.
Just toss it. So for a pro tip, another pro tip, like my dental floss rule, is there's no hard and fast rule. You do not, absolutely do not have to categorize by year, by date. You categorize by what works for you. And what works for me is categorizing by events and by people and by families or holidays. I have a whole album of Christmas photos. I have a whole album of Thanksgiving photos. I have an album of my son's elementary school years. There's no rule here.
Well, and that
you
goes
do
back,
what works for you.
Right. That goes back to perfect is the enemy of done. If you just say, I'm going to accomplish this, and it's okay that they're all saved, you know, as a Christmas or as, you know, soccer, you're going to have momentum versus I've got to organize these, you know, back from the 1950s to now. So, okay, great.
All right, here's what Jamie was talking about, the photo that we rescued.
So, yeah, so this is it for you to see. This is actually, it was blown from this to a 16 by 20. So, all right. So
hold it in front of your hand. That helps. Okay. The small one, how big it is. Yeah.
See.
So when you digitize them, you can do things like this. Her great grandmother in a 16 by 20 large photo for everybody to see or for her to put on her wall. And there's 3 ways to get your photos digitized: good, better, and best. Any way you're doing it, I'm happy for you. You need to get those digitized. So the first way is the do-it-yourself method. Most of us have smartphones now, and you can use your phone to take a photo of the photo. Essentially, you're scanning it if you take a photo of the photo. I think at this point now, most of us have done that. I certainly have. And with the quality of camera phones at this point in time, you're getting a really great copy of a photo if you take a photo of the photo. Another way to do this, a tiny bit better way, is to use a scanner app on your phone. And there is an app, any of these down here, PhotoMind, PhotoScan, Family Search Memories, and Scanner Gold. Those are all scanning apps that you put on your phone, and they do the scanning for you, and they crop it almost for you. My favorite out of those 4 would be PhotoScan. Easiest to use, user-friendly, high quality.
And I want to interject, this is really good for those C photos that you want to keep, but you necessarily don't want to put them in an album, or you don't need to print them. I've also found that if I'm doing a slideshow, that is good enough quality. If you're putting on the internet, just sending a link to people, you can definitely, that's definitely good enough for any slideshow, I think, right?
Agreed, 100%.
Yeah. But you're not printing them necessarily, right?
You're not. So, excuse me. For better, so the first one was good, using your phone apps and scanning. Better is using an actual scanner. A lot of places, big box retailers, maybe Staples,
And yeah, big box, Amazon,
Amazon, Best Buy, you can take your photos in and they will scan them for you. Or you can purchase a scanner from Amazon or Best Buy and scan them yourself. Now, a few things about scanning them yourself. You do not want to scan anything that has a paper feeling. More of like a notebook paper type feeling as compared to an actual photograph.
This would not go through. And I actually, one of the things that I did with our scanner is I had saved my old letters from, high school and middle school. And I wanted to share them with the people who had written them. And I wanted to scan them through. And the ones that were really lightweight disintegrated in the machine. They couldn't handle it. So it needs to be a little bit beefier if you're going to put it through a scanner like that.
Agreed. So these are some of your C photos and mainly your B photos, and the ABCD method is scanning these. And this Epson scanner actually from Amazon is a really good price. It's a little pricey, around $500, but it will work for multiple things. The best way you can do this is by using professional camera scanning. So this is the photo of the rig that Silver Linings has set up in their office, our office, and the images are scanned. Underneath these cardboard pieces in the photo is museum quality glass, clear, perfectly clear glass. And you put the photo underneath the glass, you wear gloves. Every tiny detail will show on these digitized photos. We move the camera up and down to get the closest, best high quality photo. This is what they use in museums, to the point where I scanned a practice photo a few months ago, and there was one tiny little piece of dust on it, a piece of dust, and it showed up on the scan. So this is the highest quality that you could use. It's amazing technology.
This is also good if you have family documents that you want to save,
Yes.
birth certificates or pieces of paper or things that are fragile. You want to put them, and it also can accommodate a bigger space than the traditional scanner. It can go bigger than the 8x11.
Right. It can go, I think from what I saw, it could go up to 14 by 14. So maybe some people made like the older scrapbooks, maybe from the early 80s. You can put those in there and scan their scrapbook pages too, which is an amazing technology. So after we have them all scanned, we have all these digital photos floating around. What are we going to do with them? So the next thing, our next step after we've digitized them all, is any of these things, the first thing you want to look at, and I know I heard a lady talking about her putting them onto her Google Drive or her Google Photos. This is highly recommended. I mean, this is the age we live in today. These are all very known and used and good solutions. Google Drive, iCloud, Dropbox, and OneDrive. I have had a few questions from my own mom and mother-in-law that said, well, what if I put all my photos on Google Drive and Google Drive goes out of business? If Google goes out of business, we are going to get fair warning, several months of warning that they're going to get rid of that. So you will have time to have someone help you figure that out. It's not going to happen. Maybe one day they will go out of business, but if they do, they're going to tell you beforehand and you will have the time to work that out. The next thing you could do is online sharing. So for my own parents, I've been setting up a smug mug site. I've been putting all their photos into a site and then they can share them with whomever they want. It has a passcode, so they send their friends and family the passcode and say, look at this funny album of my birthday party when I turned 40. And you can share them that way. And it's a really easy and cool way to do that. Also, their friends can print photos from it if they see one they like. There's also the free option, which is the Shutterfly share site. This is a really great option too. It does basically the same thing, but it's free, a tiny bit less user-friendly and a little bit less quality photos if you print them, but still a really great option. Obviously, something you can always do in the tangible way. I love tangible. I love watching my kids look at their photo albums. I love watching my parents look at the photo albums they make for them and touch them. There's just something about, to me, about a physical photo that you can look at and turn the page on. So easy and tangible ways to share your photos. You can get Chatbooks is a really cool service where they will print many different sizes of books for you. You can put maybe your retirement party into one book and have that just as a little book on your shelf, my retirement party. You can get them printed. My favorite printer is a place called Persnickety Prints. It's based out of Utah. They use silver halide printing. She has a video on her website where she puts one of her printed photos in a bowl of Coca-Cola and the print comes out still perfect. Another thing you can do is get your photos printed on Amazon. It's pretty cheap, especially if you have the Prime membership, and it works great. So my favorite option right now, one of my favorite options, is a digital photo frame. This actual Pixar 10-inch is the photo frame I buy from Amazon. It's my favorite one. It's easy. You make up an email address and whoever you share that email address to can send photos to that email address and the pictures show up on the frame. So my mother-in-law just went, we haven't seen her for a year, obviously, but during that year, she also was going through some pretty severe cancer treatments. And so almost every day we would send a photo of just anything we were doing to her to keep her spirits up during that, because it was really hard not being with any family or friends during that time. But it is a great gift. It's a great thing for you to have on your own. You could give them to anybody. You could give them to someone retiring. You could give them to someone entering the nursing home. You could give them to college kids. It's a great gift and not expensive. Another thing you can do is enlarge all your photos. You can use multiple different services. You can use the Persnickety Prints printing company and get them printed in all different sizes and make wall collages. So another place that you could send your photos to is FrameBridge. They will actually print the photo and frame it for you, like this picture in the middle here. So you have all neat centered photos that look the same. The one on the left is Mixed Tiles. It's a good option, but the photos are a little,
They're grainy. I did it and
grainy.
I found I wasn't crazy about it. So
I would do it. I mean, if you like, if it would be a cool gift for like a kid going to college to hang in their dorm room.
Right.
And then the other option obviously is DIY, which is my favorite option, where you just get all different frames and photos and hang them on your walls. So here's where we can help you with this process, which basically we can do all of this for you. We can organize for you. We can come and help you organize. You can hand us a box of photos and we can figure this out. We will help you determine if you should keep them or if you need to delete them. I'm going to talk to you really briefly about throwing away some photos or deleting them. A lot of scenery photos we've been getting where it's just photos and I show it to someone and say, where's this from? And they're like, honestly, I have no idea. So if you're taking scenery photos and 10 years from now, you have no idea why you took the photo, I think it's time for you to delete that photo from your stash. If you have a photo and you're like, yes, that was the beach on Cancun when we renewed our vows, let's keep that photo. So we're going to help you figure out the system. Is it chronological? Is it by category instead? We can help what figures out what works for you to organize. And then we can actually digitize for you. So we have all of the equipment to digitize. We can scan them. We can organize them. I do some light editing to most of them. And then we can create organized libraries for you digitally. So I can do it for you on Google Drive, where you have an organized library that you have your memories easily to look up. And then once your photos are digitized, they're so much easier for you to make gifts for people or make a photo wall for yourself in your own family room. These are just the photos. That's the photo that I worked really hard on restoring, and I used the professional museum grade rig to obviously get that photo. I restored it to its original black and white, and then I blew it up all the way to a 16 by 20. I'm just so proud of it. It was hard work. We can help create the meaningful photo gifts for you. I can help you with photo books and photo albums. We can help you with enlargements, the digital photo frames, or even creating an online sharing like the Smug Mug or the Shutterfly account. And that is where I end. Jamie?
Yeah, does anybody have any questions for us?
I'm going to stop sharing.
So I actually put in answer to that, if you want to email us your questions so that we have a catalog of everybody's email, then what I'll do is reach out to the group and get those questions answered, because, we will get answers. We have a network of people that can get us answers.
Right. I know if Diana, if you're in San Diego, I know there are at least 2 or 3 places that you can. I just can't think of their names off the top of my tongue.
We'll also be emailing everyone the presentation so you can view it again if you want to review any of the information. We'll also include Jamie's and Jen's information on there. I'll include the app names as well for the duplicate removal and any other information that you can think of, Jamie and Jen, that we can share with those who attended today and those who signed up who couldn't make it. We'll definitely send that information out.
Great.
Great. Any other questions for Jamie or Jen? All righty. If I don't see anything else, then we'll say goodbye. Jamie or Jen, any closing notes for anyone?
No, perfect is the enemy of done. Get it done. Don't dwell on making it perfect. That's like the best piece of advice I can give you in your entire life, actually.
Great.
Agreed.
So done. So thank you all for joining again. Hope to see you back soon at all of our programming that we have at the community center. Please join us again. More information at ljcommunitycenter.org. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Jen, and stay well, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.